I thought I'd show you how I typically light my scenes. This is a scene and I'm using an HDRI and a V-Ray sun for illumination. I'm going to turn off everything but my lights, and for this example first I'm going to turn off my sun, and then my dome light here. It's a V-Ray light set to dome. Multiplier is 30 and it is visible. And then I have my HDRI in the texture slot, and that HDRI is coming from HDRI-locations.com. And I place that HDRI in my environment slot so I can see it in the viewport. And I do that so I can orientate the sun. And I drop that multiplier down to 0.25 so I can see the hot spot. And I rotate it to get it where I want the sun to come from. Turn that back on. Here in my preferences, I have my gamma set to 2.2 and output is 1, input's 2.2, so every texture that comes in at 2.2. And then when I save out, so I don't double gamma, it's set to 1, and both these are ticked. Here in my V-Ray settings, under my color mapping, I have it set to linear, dark multiplier 1, bright 1, gamma 1. And in my V-Ray frame buffer, first let's turn everything back on. And that sun is off. I'm going to hit render, so the only thing lighting the scene now is that HDRI. And it looks like my sun is still on. Cancel that. I'm going to pick my sun. I'm going to disable it. Hit render. And now I'm getting a nice global illumination. It looks like an overcast day. And I'm getting some blues from the sky. Really nice. I typically want a stronger shadow from that sun, and HDRIs for the most part don't provide that. So that's when I bring in the sun, and then I position it in the sky where that hot spot of the HDRI is. And then I get that nice strong shadow. Here in my V-Ray frame buffer, I have my color correction curve. The right side here, first I set snaps on, and then the right side I bring to 0.6. The left side, the right side, right mouse click, hit free, and I make sure it's enabled, and that applies that gamma curve. And when I save these out in my render setup, I typically save it out as a V-Ray image, and then it burns in all that information. And then I can adjust exposure in After Effects or Photoshop, and I find that works very well, and it is burning in this curve. So that's how I set up my my scenes, and I'm gonna do a part 2. I'm gonna change out my HDRI for a sunrise and show you that effect that simple change can have on your scene. So here's the final scene, and so in part 2 I'm going to take an HDRI from the same site that I purchased. I own 2 of them. They're pretty expensive. I'd like to have more, but so far I have 2 of them, and then I'll swap out that HDRI for a sunrise and show you the dramatic change that the scene, a total different feel just by changing out that HDRI and moving that sun down.